Okay. It was something. It was something weird with my earbuds on Audacity, but now it's fine. Okay, I'm ready.
You ever sometimes think that they're like your foes because they mess with you so much rather than buds?
I do now.
Yeah, won't be able to get
Giving
that
me
out of your head.
whole new levels of paranoia.
All right. I am ready when you are.
On three, one, two, three.
Boom, 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 boom. Podcast time.
Podcasting, podcasting. Well, I'm already tired of having a job again. That went really quickly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm finding out that the school I'm working at is owned by some rich private businessman
Oh,
who
good.
is potentially an arms dealer to Israel. Is what
Even
I
better.
heard. And also he was doing some like embezzling and shit, but I don't know, didn't get
Hmm.
in trouble and like fired some teachers who had like called him out on it. So
Okay.
at
Okay.
first I was like, oh, this place seems nice. The CEO, I met him once. He seemed like a nice, just kindly old grandpa.
Sure.
And
Turns out grandpas are all evil. Folks, we hate grandpas. Can't trust
and they're
them.
just like I basically have like four jobs in one. Like I'm not just I'm kind of barely even really teaching.
Hmm.
Like I thought like when I agreed to the job, it seemed like mostly what I was going to be doing is like research and development stuff. But now I teach for like 2 hours in like their little after school academy, and then I'm kind of on call to help with lower grade teachers when they need it, which is all fine. Like that all seemed, I was like, whatever, that's hardly anything, not a big deal. But now they're like, I met the CEO a second time, and after that, like, he wants you to be his personal English teacher 3 days, three
Ah,
times a week. I was like, what the fuck? You guys are just adding on like
God
duties to
damn
my
it.
job.
Yeah,
And
fuckers like that
even
always try
that
to
is,
pull that kind of shit.
I know it sucks, but it's like, it's almost more, it's more the principle of it than the reality so far. But it's more just me
Oh,
thinking,
it's a,
like, are they going to keep like pulling bullshit like continually?
of course.
Yeah.
That's a classic small business tyrant mode. That like, oh, you have this job or whatever, but you can also just do whatever little favor thing for me personally, even though that's not part of your job title, because I pay you to service me, not for whatever your job is.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
kind of
love
weird.
that. Love that. Love to We love to see it,
We'll
folks.
see.
It's why we like small businesses. It's why we support them on Small Business Saturday or whatever the fuck, because everyone knows small businesses are much better than big corporations and they don't form into groups and lobby the government to give them the same kind of bullshit tax breaks and incentives that big companies get. Ah,
Another guy I work
God
with,
damn it.
he said about the CEO, he said, "Oh, that guy's rich with a capital B." And I laughed and then I thought about it and I was like, I'm not sure exactly what he means by that. Do you understand what he means by that?
I think he's just calling him a bitch.
That's what I thought. That was my only thought. But then I told it to my girlfriend later. I was like, and I realized like I was like, oh, maybe I need to explain what that means. And I realized I'm not sure really what he meant.
Well,
And then, but
was this a Western person or was this a Korean person? Did they say
this was
drop
this was
drop
a
hit the drop?
Western
I'm Korean.
person.
Okay.
um,
Okay, if it
he
was a
said,
Western person, then I think we're on the same page.
yeah. I heard him say something funny that I don't think he realized how funny it was to say it around like the head people of the English department of the school. He said, "I'm pretty bad with languages." I was like,
Pretty good. Pretty
you've
good.
been an English teacher at this place for
That's
10
kind of your
years, man."
that's kind of
I
your
mean, he's
job,
like
brother.
now he's like in like a managerial position where he's not teaching, but still it was
Yeah.
funny. And then
He's like, I got your ass. I was faking
and then
through
he
all
said
that
that
stuff, but now
and
I'm good at my job.
usually you're supposed to be like native speaker, and I mean I don't know his situation. I don't know him that well yet, but
Hmm.
um
I
he,
believe
I don't know,
they call First
he
Nations.
seems of Latin descent of some sort, and he said something the other day about like learn English till he was like in third grade, whatever.
Cool.
Doesn't matter. You don't really need to be
That's good.
that great at the
Right, right.
language to get by in teaching
For sure.
ESL.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as you know how to talk or whatever, or tell people how to talk, you're good.
I mean,
That's all you need.
I've heard teachers over here say some of the dumbest shit and just like speak with a really and just like say
Brother,
things that are just wrong about grammar and stuff.
sure. I mean, that is the case over here too. That is, that's not a Korea only type situation.
Yeah, true. But it seems more
Uh,
pronounced when you're specifically like if you're an English teacher in America, you're just teaching literature or whatever.
sure,
Um,
sure.
but when you're specifically teaching like rudimentary language and stuff to kids,
Mhm.
I don't know. Like I was sitting,
See,
I
I
was
don't
kind of
think you
help.
should be teaching them how to be rude, personally. Um,
There we go with the linguistics jokes.
but yeah, sorry about the having a job situation. I know it's tough. You hate to see it,
Yeah,
folks.
I'm working like 10-hour days, and then that turns into 12 with the commute.
What?
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. It's pretty
half
much
my
your whole day. It
day.
sucks.
I'm
It
basically like
sucks.
not at work and awake for like 3 hours, maybe.
Yeah. Are you doing? You're doing 4 10s, or what are like? What are that? How many days are you working?
Oh, it's 5 days a week.
5 10s?
Yeah,
That sucks.
yeah. I mean, like the actual job itself isn't too hard yet. We'll
Yeah.
see. Like the R&D stuff is very vague and ill-defined so far. So I have been able to just kind of like do some, looking at podcasting preparation shit while in the office a
Yeah.
little bit. So it's not it's not terrible. I'm more just like
Yeah.
anticipating future bad shit after that.
Yeah.
You're going to be the
Yeah. That's a bad
personal
start.
English tutor to the CEO now.
Right. We need you to
It was
teach this
presented
guy how
as
to.
they wanted a favor from you, but there was never a question after that. It was just like, here's what's happening.
Or a like you will get this thing for it. It's always good.
Yeah, I was thinking like, am I going to get paid extra for this? Because this was not in the contract.
Have you done it yet?
No, I'm supposed to start on Monday.
Maybe he'll tip you out. Maybe he's one of those kind of
That's what I'm kind
employers.
of hoping for as well. Is maybe there'll be some financial perks to it.
Maybe he'll throw you something, a little something
We'll
under the
see.
table. Do they? Oh wait, do they have tipping culture in Korea?
No,
But do they have paying
but
people under the
this guy
table?
is like paying under the table. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean that's a thing for there's like all kinds of labor sectors.
Sure, sure. All right, all right. But you were saying this guy is what now? Who's this guy now?
Uh,
What the hell is this thing? See, I'm doing the. That's I was intentionally doing that.
yeah. Who's this? What's that?
Who's this?
Shade
Who's this guy?
the old ring
Never heard
light.
of him. Yeah.
All right. I guess we should just jump into it.
Yeah. Why the fuck not?
Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast that
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it. And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void,
and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, "Look at that fucker dance."
Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast that frankly finds you unspeakably attractive and a bit of a dangerous kitten, like if a tiger had breasts and drank martinis. It is 10:49 a.m. in the Anti-Meridium KST Korea Standard Time, Saturday, March 15th, year of our Lord and the Snake, 2025. You are listening to me, Joshua Nomen Mutashio, and over here we have Tim Senator Dick Slurpin Buckner, all the way from Hollywood, California. What up, Tim?
Yes, in PDT, Pacific Daylight Time, as it were, recently changed.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know me, Josh. I'm always happy to be on the only podcast that says the future is all femputer in here. How you doing tonight, Josh?
Doing good tonight this morning. It's all mixed up. Don't know what to do. I guess I sort of felt like saying out loud what I've been thinking about the last week or whatever it's been about the podcast. Few words on a conscious shift in my mind here. I can't talk about Trump every week, y'all. It's too much.
Yeah. I kind of said that when he got elected, but yeah, for sure, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's just too fucking repetitive, and I started remembering that you and I have done it a couple times, like where we just picked like a more singular topic and done the whole episode that way. And so that's kind of what I want to do going forward for the most part. Maybe now and then we'll do the old Storm O news of the week. But in general, I'd like to just pick a more narrowed topic. And even the most narrow topic quickly can like balloon outward into an unwieldy thing, like this week's chosen topic, Zionist entertainments, specifically comedy, beginning with stand-up comedy, actually. This was all inspired by something that was kind of in the old slew of news of the week, a little bit of a viral video clip from one Yoni Kletzel. Seems like an unfortunate name if you ask me. Yoni, that's something for vagina, is it not?
Yeah, I think that's a term that they use to mean like the whole kit and caboodle, what some people will refer to as the vulva, I believe is the yoni.
Okay. You're right. Yes. Oh, yes. The yoni egg, as I see here. That was a thing.
The yoni egg is a specific thing that's meant for, like, they say it's meant to help you doing Kegels. But like I said, the yoni itself, I believe they use it to mean all the stuff going on. Actually, yeah, I guess so. Well, no, because I was going to say, I think because it derives, literal word is womb/source. So it actually, people use it to mean like the entire vulva, but it also, because of that, kind of implies the uterus, all of the parts that are involved in, I guess, producing offspring. Yeah. Is the yoni. It's
AKA the
cradle
pussy
of civilization.
parts.
The cradle of civilization, folks.
Something called the vaginawhisperer.com has yoni eggs, pros and cons. In any case, we're not actually talking about that. Ooh, Wikipedia, yoni massage. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We got a whole tutorial here on the Wikipedia entry for yoni massage. Is that one of those fake extended pocket pussies or whatever? I think it is. Like the ass, but it's like the legs are chopped off.
Sure, yeah.
This shit weirds me out, I gotta say. But whatever.
Yeah, not a fan.
You do you,
I actually,
listener.
I kind of dislike those more than the foot that just has a vagina on it. You know what I'm talking about?
I never, I'm always learning new stuff from you, Tim. I've never seen that
There's
one.
a there's a like a version of a stroker, I guess, a pocket pussy, that's like a foot, and then like it's cut off at the ankle, and then at the base there where it's like flat at the ankle, they just put like a pussy there, and it's
I
because it's
assume
kind
that's a
of
foot
more.
fetishist
I mean,
thing.
of course, because it's like slightly more comical, I guess, or just hype, like real. Like it's less the disembodied crotch that's just there is a lot more weird to me.
I think I'd laugh harder if I'm just picturing myself walking in on someone if they're just plugging away at the top of a disembodied foot or
Sure, sure.
leaning into what looks like someone who's had their legs entire body from the belly button upwards chopped off. I think the foot one would make me laugh harder, at least immediately.
Sure,
Um
sure.
well, Yoni Kletzel, let's listen to what Yoni Kletzel had to say. He did some stand up, like I said, that went viral recently about something we talked about last week, the Oscars, and how a dastardly pig dog Palestinian was honored by the Academy for the documentary about Israel Palestine, and some Zionist freaks like Mr. Yoni lost their ever loving minds about it. Vamping while I share.
Oh, I was just gonna say, aren't we getting to the point where like it shouldn't be? I mean, isn't it kind of sexist that we only have the Oscars? Shouldn't there be like a Oscarinas or whatever? Like I said, the
Oscars.
future is femme.
It's right
Yeah, shouldn't
there.
it be Oscars? I was trying to make a female version of the name, but it's a good point. But yeah, see what I'm saying?
Oscarinas. Is that what you
Like I said,
said?
yeah, it's all femputer in here. It's talking about the future. We need to bring it to the 21st century. Have the awards be named after some bitch that no one's ever heard of.
So, as reported on by the Middle East Monitor, awkward silence as Israeli comedians' Gaza jokes flop.
I should have put
Indeed.
comedian in scare quotes there. So called.
Yeah, very much a so-called situation. And
Self-professed. That would be a good one.
he might not even go as far to call himself a comedian. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Well, he probably says I'm a bomb thrower, but not like those dirty Palestinians.
All right, I'll play the whole thing. It's only a minute long, but it will probably feel like an hour.
Yeah.
Also,
that's
I
what she
mean,
said.
also what she said, and this will apply to any clips we watch/listen to in this episode, but probably most of them. You may want to seek them out for visual confirmation because it's all a rich stew of elements here. But understand the dumb shit that's coming out of his mouth here. Oh, he does do it. He does what the comedians call an act out at one point here. But anyway, here it is.
Sure.
Yoni Kletzel.
He's throwing a fit. He's stamping his feet. He's saying, I want a toy. You told me that we were going to get McDonald's. He's acting out, as they say.
Yes. In
Because he's a baby. He's a giant baby. That's why.
the psychological senses of the word, yes. Yoni Kletzel.
I actually don't believe that Palestinian films should win any awards ever. Because they only know how to play one role. Victim.
Hoo-hoo.
You know?
Got him.
My family is so starving. They only got 5 products of humanitarian aid. Please donate. Link in the bio. No, okay, they know how to play one more thing. Fake dead baby.
Pin drop.
You want to see me win a Palestinian Oscar
heard this
right
one?
now?
Oh, that's what a dead baby looks like. They lay down on the ground.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Ah. Fake.
The
Fake.
Oscar goes to Muhammad. Thank you.
I like the crowd clapping there.
Honestly, sometimes
like
I
he
wish
was
I grew
done.
up in Gaza because I would be like a Hollywood superstar. You guys saw that performance right here, right? It was incredible. Can we get one more round of applause, you know?
People who even pity
Mhm.
clapped for that should fucking kill themselves.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But yeah, I was mentioning, I like that when he got up and he was trying to pantomime, uh, like the award ceremony where he was winning the award for being a dead baby, that the crowd started actually applauding because I think that they were hoping that he was over, that he was
Totally.
actually saying that he was done.
That's what it
But
is.
yeah,
I
that
I had
was
the
pretty
same
good.
exact
That's
thought when I saw it. I was like, "Oh, well, at least he's walking off stage now, right?" And then he didn't, and that made me laugh 10 times harder.
yeah, it's so
Like,
good.
"Oh, he's
It's so good.
sticking around, glutton for
Yeah,
punishment."
that would have been a good chance. You know what's always a good thing to do with a joke premise, especially when you're trying to do what he's doing here, which is like speak truth and really like set it straight, is to like have a conceit. Like the first part of your joke is a conceit, and then after the first tag, you instantly just go against it. Like, oh, okay, here's the thing. Palestinians, they can only play one role as a victim. No, but not actually. They also play dead baby. It's like, okay, so no, so actually no, not just one. They don't just play one thing. They literally play two things. Yeah, and then we have our friend of the episode. I think our trope of the evening, Lincoln Bio. These motherfuckers love to call out Lincoln Bio, and I'm just like, yeah, like
It's
Jesus
such a
Christ, yeah.
stupid fucking thing that they think they've latched onto. They're like, "Oh, we see your game." Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
How is that an own on anybody? It's like,
Right.
I mean, obviously, I know what they're going for. They're like, they're just grifters. They're just
Right.
trying to get your damn money.
Yeah.
It's like, or they're actually
Or
being cut off
there's the
from
Lincoln.
all supplies,
Right.
and they actually need things.
And also, the link that's in the bio can also be a ton of different things. Like they use it for shorthand,
But
you
right,
know what
yeah,
I mean? For it's my Cash App or it's my donation, but it's also like a lot of times it has like fucking resources, it has article, you know what I mean? It has information, it has network, like all that kind of stuff. It's not always just asking for donations, but I mean, look who's talking, right? It's all about the Benjamins, baby. When they hear someone say Lincoln Bio, the first thing they think about is, oh, that person's trying to get money from me. And they're like, isn't that disgusting that you would be crowdsourcing this money? You'd be like the Democratic Party addicted to small donors. When the real thing to do is to get that money from big Papa Trump. Why are you fucking going for the small fries, asking every person on social media for money when you should be doing this like a real, respectable government like Israel, and you should be completely subsidized by America? The American taxpayer shouldn't have to choose to give you money in the link in the bio. They should be giving it to you because the government takes it from you and gives it to them. Then you're a legitimate country who actually has needs.
yeah. I really didn't notice that the Lincoln Bio thing was such a trend amongst these god awful people until you know like seeing it all like en masse in the span of a week.
Right.
But yeah, it comes up so often. I hadn't really seen it pointed out as a thing before, but um,
Right.
yeah, I'm glad you picked up
They
on that. I
feel
was
like
definitely going to bring it up.
Manosphere guys. Sorry, the way that they talk about Lincoln Bio feels like the Manosphere guys about the fucking OnlyFans, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
OnlyFans detected. OnlyFans detected. Oh, can't take you seriously. This means that something bad about you.
And also as if the Manosphere guys and if these Zionist fucking grifters are playing any other kind of game on the internet.
Right.
Like they're all on fucking Instagram. I mean, my problem with Lincoln Bio is that it just signals Instagram's bullshit that you can't post fucking
Right.
links in things. It's one of the, I don't know, hundreds of reasons I just don't fucking like Instagram.
Right. Right.
And the most I've used it in a while has been this past week or so because all these fucking Zionist freaks are. I got like excited when they had like a fucking X account instead. It's like at least I don't have to fucking sort through Instagram, but whatever. They're all bad. They're all bad. I mean, this guy has a shit ton of videos. We're not going to go through them all. I'll play just one more maybe to show that this guy has range. He doesn't just do shit about Israel Palestine. He also does pronoun jokes on the street. He does street encounters with strangers. And if you thought that last one was like, I was just thinking because I kept saying pin drop, just this the deafening silence. That should be it should be a new instead of saying like somebody bombed, he pin dropped. No, there's
Right,
something
right.
there.
Yeah, but you got to watch out with Israelis because when they're talking about a pin drop, they're talking about grenades. They're talking about
Right.
killing babies with explosives.
Oh, that's another fucking trope or whatever is they think it's hilarious to point out that Muhammad is a common name. They
Yeah,
like think
that's a
that is
good
a
one.
joke unto itself. They're like, "Ha, my name is Muhammad. God, they didn't see that coming. Ha ha ha.
Of course,
Lincoln
Muhammad, of
bio.
course.
Muhammad's Lincoln bio." Look, that's a joke. That's a joke. No matter how many times you do it, it's still a joke,
It's funny
technically.
every time.
Joke.
It's funny every time, noticing that a lot of people are named Jeff.
Yeah. Ah, fuck. And this is why fuck Instagram. I'm not signing in.
Oh
Whatever.
yeah.
We don't actually need to hear this. He just like goes up to this like Jamaican lady on the street and he's like, "What are your pronouns? Duh, what are your pronouns?" Like he just keeps repeating it. And she's like, "What you talking about, child?" And like the whole angle he's going for is like, "Hey, look, a POC, a WOC." Even better,
Yeah.
right? Also thinks pronoun shit is dumb, and she thinks it's absurd that I ask what gender she is. Isn't that funny? And then he just literally says something like, I'm a female." Like he just says it like that.
Nice.
And she's like,
Nailed it.
"What you talking about, child?" Like, that's the
Yeah,
whole thing. It's so
it's pretty
fucking
good.
bad. I watched a
Pretty good.
handful of his fucking shit. It's just too like all these people, like every now and then you find one that is a little bit above and beyond the usual fare, but for the most part, it's just so. I mean, what's funny about it is how painfully samey it is, just over and
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Like the other style of videos, like go up to whatever college protesters on the street that appear to be pro-Palestine and try to like trip them up. He One thing he does over and over too is he just carries a little world map around. He's like, "Hey, where's Palestine on the map? Can you find it?" And he's like pulling the map away from them physically. They can't even like point at it. He's like, "What's wrong? You don't know where it is?" And it's like he's just trying to get that like 3-second clip of someone like
Yeah.
you know not being able to point it out. And also, who the fuck cares? I mean, whatever. It's not the own you think it is, obviously. Um, he does something weird in his most Jesus. One of it, okay, he has 3 videos pinned on his Instagram. One of them is the one I just described about the pronouns. The other one is him
Sure.
going up to 2 protesters and just saying like, "Why do you support Palestine?" And like whatever. He probably asked 100 people, 99 of them gave good
Hmm.
answers, and then he found the one that like can't fucking articulate whatever. Um,
Sure.
but the weird thing about it is he carries around this little tiny like microphone, but he has it put on the top of like a empty coffee cup. He's just like pointing a fucking piece of trash essentially in these people's faces. I thought that was
That's like a pretty.
a
That's
weird
like a new
move.
thing.
Is it a
They
thing?
like. Yeah, like all these videos you see now, a lot of them like they're in New York, right? So they clip the little microphone onto like the MTA card for the train, and then they like hold
Okay.
that to their mouth and talk. So it's like becoming like kind of a common trope in dumbass like TikTok-ish videos where it's like you clip your mic onto something and you use that. Like it's fucking weird. It's
Well,
I don't know why they do that.
what I'm looking at though, I just real like so in the pronouns video, he has just a regular mic with a cord, and then on this
Right, right.
other video pinned video, he's doing the coffee cup thing. So yeah, it must just be this trend that I was unaware of. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like he's like actually because you're saying he has a regular mic that he could just be using, and he's kind of almost choosing to use that because it like looks more authentic or whatever, you know what I mean? Because that's what
Yeah,
everyone's doing now.
I thought it was weird and kind of just kind of gross to be like, here's this thing I was like just putting my saliva all over, and I'm gonna shove it in
Sure,
your
sure.
face. It seems like there's some kind of element of like I only do this to the people like I hate, basically.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
I could see that. But
Smell
yeah,
my
I think
fucking stale yoni coffee breath.
right.
So Yoni Kletzel, I have a few more things to say about him. He apparently works for this very fucked up right-wing Zionist, I guess it's
Shocking.
redundant, group called Batar. Real couple of Batards over there or something.
Hmm.
Betar, which I somehow hadn't heard of before. I'm kind of surprised because it goes back like a real long time, back to the
Huh.
not the beginning of Zionism, but kind of when it really started cooking.
Sure,
Collaborating
sure.
with Nazis and whatnot, which is like a whole other topic that I veered off into while researching this stuff, which I'd like to do another episode on at some point down the line. The close, like the literal, like a lot of people, you see people online saying like Zio Nazis and stuff like that, but like I
Yeah, yeah.
think I'm not sure that everyone who says that quite understands that it's much more literal than they might even realize. But anyway, that's some history I've been getting into recently, but I might have a little more to say about that later. Perhaps a full-on episode. I've got some ideas brewing about that. But anyway, it said here when I was like just kind of looking into this guy on Bataris.org, Jews fight Jews fight back better with Batar US, strengthening Jewish leadership and Zionist activism across the US. And within this article, it says Yoni Kletzel joins as content development lead. And to amplify Batar's message, Yoni Kletzel steps in as the new content development
Oof.
lead, a comedian and entrepreneur with a strong social media following. Kletzel brings fresh creativity to the movement's outreach. With over 6,000 TikTok followers and blah, blah, blah likes, his work celebrates Jewish identity and culture, making him a powerful 6,000 TikTok followers isn't shit. What the fuck? I just realized
Yeah,
what I was
right.
reading. What the fuck is
It's not
this?
really a lot. It's not really a
Uh,
ton.
his work celebrates
Especially, yeah,
Jewish
TikTok is like
identity,
crazy. Anyway, sorry.
uh, and culture, making him a powerful voice for engaging the next generation. Quote, Jewish strength is about more than just survival. It's about thriving and owning our narrative, said Kletzel. Batar is the perfect platform to ensure that young Jews remain proud, informed, and unafraid to stand up for themselves. So this is a little Wikipedia reading here, whatever. Take it with some grain of salt, some size of grain of salt. It's a revisionist Zionist youth movement founded in 1923 in Latvia by this guy who I've been reading up on a lot the last week, Vladimir Jabotinsky. Then he like Hebrewized his
Mm-hmm.
name later in life, so he's known as like Zev, I think is how you say his name. Anyway, whatever. He's just like a
All right.
fucking nut. He's just a Nazi. Like he's an actual
Sure, sure.
collaborator, and like the shit about Zionism that I'm realizing even more fully lately. Like I knew like some elements of this, like it relies on anti-Semitism and then it generates anti-Semitism, but like it does it in so much more of direct ways, at least especially in the past, I suppose. But I mean, even now, of course, as well. But like when the Nazi Party was around. But you can just find all kinds of quotes like from this particular guy who built this Zionist organization that are the most anti-Semitic shit you've ever heard in your life. It's just like the Jews are biologically annoying. Like I'm barely
Sure.
exaggerating in some of the quotes. Like, and it's all the justification for why we need to like have our own state and
I mean,
displace a bunch of people and kill them and all the stuff that Israel has done in its history.
can't necessarily argue when it comes down to it. No, yeah, I mean, of course, like it's kind of like that whole like the terrorists being radicalized in jail or whatever thing, you know what I mean? It's like it's a lot of the same thing. And it's also like perpetuating the market, right? So, of course.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing. I guess I should not because I'm saying want to save some of this stuff for later, but like Zionism is like almost first and foremost like developed as an anti-communist movement above like everything else. They were happy to collaborate with the fucking czarists in Russia and literal Nazis, the Nazi Party. But anyway, I guess I'll save that for later. But I was like
Yeah, yeah.
listening and reading to a bunch of stuff about that this morning, so it's fresh in my mind. But anyway, the point is that Mr. Pussy Parts Kletzel, he works for this abhorrent organization. Shocker, of course.
Sure, but
I
that just pays the
assumed,
bills. His real passion is stand-up comedy, obviously.
right. I mean, that's what he's really good at.
Or or acting, or his acting career as Fake Dead Baby. I don't. And the Academy Award for best actor goes for the best Fake Dead Baby goes to Yoni Kletzel. Yeah, Christ, I didn't get that part. The Fake Dead Baby thing and the way he delivers it. I mean, ah, yeah.
Yeah, he is. There's a video on his Instagram showing a clip of someone holding a baby, and then like it has this like AI kind of like voiceover, or it's showing a guy in Palestine holding a baby. I don't know if the baby's supposed to be dead. I can't. It's hard to tell because it's just like this stupid fucking
Yeah.
Zionist influencer video that doesn't give any real context. But it's like a guy like holding a baby on this like pile of rubble, basically. And they like pause it, and this annoying voiceover comes in, and it's like, baby too clean doesn't make sense, y'all. And it's like that kind of thing. It's all this stuff like that's another, link in bio, Pallywood. This is just, these things just get recycled over and over amongst these people.
Right.
God, something fucking weird is going on with Audacity, not responding. Did it stop? God damn it. Where were we? I think we were just probably wrapping up about Yoni
Yeah.
Kletzel. All right, let's move on to the next person then. Einov. There's so many fucking Israeli names I'm not
His
going to
names suck
pronounce well.
ass.
Yeah. I don't, there's no way I came up with this. I feel like I've heard it somewhere else, but fucking, I just kept thinking this whole week while looking at this shit. Star Wars ass names. Einav Avizemir. I'm not gonna say I've like kept up with her because that's too much of an exaggeration, but this is someone I've seen a few times in the past, and she's somewhat known, but people probably don't, like me, just recognize her unhinged, bulging eyes, weird face approach.
Yeah.
And her whole thing is not stand-up comedy, but she just does typical like stare down the barrel
She
of the
does
camera.
She does your classic YouTube guy car videos.
Yes, she literally does them from her car,
Yeah.
and then sometimes from her house. But this first one I have here, which I believe I may have played on the spin-off podcast episode, Eschaton Review, at one point, in the aftermath of the beeper attacks, because that's what she's talking about here. But I can't remember if I did or not, and I don't know, whatever. This is kind of one of her shittier takes, and whatever. It's the one I have pulled up. So let's go ahead and take a look. Zionist, this was on shout out subreddit Israel Crimes from African Stream. African Stream's a good news source over there. Zionist influencer mocks the victims of Israeli terror attacks, the beeper attacks. And here she goes.
Boom, boom, boom. I'm here to say ayo, ayo. We have a name for this operation. Operation
Shit is
Below the
painful,
Belt.
guys.
Damn, we have the biggest balls. But are you left with any? I mean, you gotta laugh about it. You know, when you will get out of the hospital. Without fingers, without a wee-wee, without the ability to see. It's very hard to eliminate you one by one. You were attacking us for 11 months with rockets and suicidal drones. And we did not even shoot one bullet. Just a beep. And in the best case, you had just your fingers that flew off. Boom, boom in the streets. While you were in
Funny.
shopping. Maybe you should just stay at home. Not a good neighborhood to live in. We were thinking to ourselves, what does every Hezbollah terrorist carry with them? It's two things. One American student close to their hearts and a beeper under their belt. But how could you know? Just a couple of months ago, you purchased those beepers from Iran. I mean, if you can trust Iran. Actually, you had to think just a little bit. If someone got to Ismail Haniya on Iranian soil, those people can make your balls boil. I know know, it's
Oh boy.
embarrassing. Boom, 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 boom. All over
Sorry,
Lebanon
everybody.
and in Syria. Someone put something in your beepers. This is so Yichya Ayash. The mega-terrorist just wanted a new phone, but he did not know that we got to his phone first. Or just planted something inside. He exploded on the first hello when his dad called. So anyway, everyone here in Israel are sending their hellos, and Chizba Boom Boom try not to explode. Because this is what happens, beep, when a lion roars.
Roar. Yeah.
You know, tropes, the problem with trying to be funny when you're like stupid, just like incredibly stupid like these people, is that like the tropes of things that people say that are not even just like dumbass platitudes that are just like kind of filler things, but they're not even necessarily like funny, like filter through and then lose meaning. At the very beginning, she's talking about it and she says, "You gotta laugh, right?" Now that is meant to be said by the people who are going through the bad thing happening, not from the people who perpetrated it. You're not doing the, oh, you gotta laugh at our bad luck when you're the one who fucking did it, bitch. That is just gloating about fucking atrocities. That's not, you're not, like, they are really so sadistic and lack the fucking, like, just empathy and fucking moral compass that they don't see that, don't realize it. When people say, oh, through the hard times, you gotta laugh, gallows humor. Gallows humor is not for the hangman. Gallows humor is about the people who are about to be executed, not the person who's going to do the execution. Jesus
Yes.
fucking Christ.
Yeah, that's a good point. That I mean that helps. I was really trying to like come up with some sort of like unifying whatever big picture concepts about like why this kind of humor fails so consistently, and that's a big part of it for sure. The hangman, not the hanged dynamic. Oh damn it! I forgot there was something she said. There was just too many things, and that's the fucking problem with these goddamn fast edit videos that I wish to see disappear forever.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with it. God damn, she's just the worst. I don't know. Maybe I thought I had more to say, but it's like, what am I gonna fact check this bitch? Whatever. Like, she's like,
Right.
we didn't fire one bullet on Lebanon. It's like, if I'm remembering right, like the stats on that, like at the time was like Israel was launching like something like 70 something to 80 something percent of all the rocket fire between both sides was coming from Israel. Like, we
Well,
didn't
she
lift a
said
single
bullets.
finger.
She said we
Right,
didn't
right,
fire a
bullets.
single bullet.
Okay,
She
sure.
didn't say anything
Just
about missiles or bombs.
8,000 rockets or whatever. Yeah.
No, doing well actually about fucking, yeah, what the level of ballistics that you know what I mean? But they actually did do that. And they were doing that up until recently with the fucking, what is it, the 500,000 pound bombs or whatever that Biden was like, you're not allowed to use those anymore or whatever. And then Trump was like, fuck it, do it. But we're back at
Well,
it, folks.
and
Even though we're in a
they also
ceasefire.
they also never actually stopped with it was the 2,000 pound bombs, and they never fucking stopped. Just the Democrats like finally quietly made a little concession. They're like, okay, but you guys, we're sending you so many 500 pound bombs, just take 4 of those. It's the same
Just double them
thing.
up. Yeah.
I guess we can now. I guess we should just get fucking louder with Crowder. Fuck it.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna
The
play
main
more
event,
of
folks.
INOV, even though there is so much, but it's very repetitive and it's all the same. Like, just
She's
insanely.
the fucking worst.
She is. I think she is the number one worst out of everybody on the list. She's the hardest one to watch. I feel like.
She's not
Like,
trying to be funny. She's not trying to be factual in any way. She's literally just
she's
like,
trying to be funny. She thinks she's funny.
she's
She
not trying
does.
to be a comedian or whatever. She's trying
Oh,
to be like maybe witty.
She's trying to be a TikTok comedian. But yeah, I mean, like if you had placed her on the stage where that fucking Yoni Kletzel was, like I feel like having the pin drop silence of the crowd like helps like dilute some of how bad it is, like as a viewer,
Yeah.
a viewer with a conscience. But she's just doing the fast edit thing from her car and,
Right,
from
right.
her kitchen or whatever in the other videos. But I think she is trying to be funny, and I'm basing that on like comments, and she like interacts with her, followers and shit. And they're like, oh my God, laughing, crying emoji. I'm so, hilarious. It is funny how their balls got blown off and how children died. Yeah, like in that clip too, and she shows literally the fucking footage of people having their fucking balls blown off or whatever. That was the other thing she said. She's like, not a good neighborhood. Like, what is that?
Property value is going down. Yeah.
Not a good neighborhood. You're bragging about how this was like a covert, like the most genius spy tech, weaponizing the fucking beepers thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you shouldn't live in that neighborhood. Good God.
Yeah, but I find her to be the worst because I feel like she's doing something more like akin to like an Alex Jones, or you know what I mean, or like even like on the other side it would be like what's Jon Stewart or something. It's like it's humorous, but it's not meant to be comedy. It's like news-ish, you know what I mean? But it's also like performance. But I mean, there's probably much better people to compare her to that are just TikTok people. You know what I mean? Just do like politics and like are slightly humorous about it or whatever. And it just makes it, but because it's like completely vapid and without any facts, it makes it like that much worse because there's just nothing. There's no redeeming value to it other than if you're a bloodthirsty fucking freak and you're like horny for this semi-attractive lady, which that was like a tons of her comments on Twitter to one of her shitty ass videos where she's like making up that like, did you see that they sent this child into the fucking enemy lines to get murdered? They did it on purpose so that they could get footage of Israelis shooting a 5-year-old. That is how much they don't care about their kids. And it's like, there's no proof of any of this. There's no fact checking. There's nothing that like says in any way this is real. And the comments are like, oh, straight facts from a pretty lady. Oh, can you believe? And it's like, you don't fucking know that there's any facts here. You're just guessing. You just like this and you like her. And that's why you're like, and that's why I say like, her job is just to get, I mean, I guess there's tons of people like this, but just to get attention / money from like really the worst of the sad, horny old men, the ones that are like sad and horny, but also want to do genocide. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, man.
I saw someone posted in her, whatever, her mentions or comments, like fan art of her face on like a sort of Wonder Woman-esque like sword wielding superhero type.
Damn it, man. No. That sucks so much.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I mean, like you said, like the audience for this shit is just people who are like, they want their bloodthirst like validated is basically it.
Right.
Because her whole thing is I'm going to speak with this totally unearned like sense of confidence, which, comes across because I'm editing out all the lulls in whatever I'm saying while sitting in my car. So it sounds like I'm just like razor wit, like rattling off all these amazing jokes like Hezba Boom Boom and balls will boil or whatever she was saying. I mean, the shit is so bad. You can't edit your way out of that. But like, these are fucking absolute morons, eating it up. But the other thing, I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but like a lot of the people I have on the list today they're not that popular, but whatever. I mean, I don't know. They still are representative of a certain way of thinking about Israel Palestine for sure. It's sort of like the Trump v Biden dynamic. It's just more mask off than the competition type thing.
Yeah, it's tons of fun.
So this is not an Israeli, but this is good old Crowder, Louder with Crowder, Steven Crowder, who I was saying when I was like and I sent you this video, like, man, from where I was standing, felt like this guy fell off. But I just saw something right before we got on here showing like what are the most like popular right right leaning and left leaning like whatever media of the day, like podcasts and YouTube channels. And Crowder was up there. His little circle on the map was only, I don't know. I guess it's probably half of Joe Rogan's, but that's still a lot of people. His
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
That map
so
thing was fucking weird though. That like
did
little
you see
the
that?
like
The same thing
oh
with all the
yeah
circles?
yeah
Yeah.
but like it had so many like little red and blue circles that just had a number in it, but
I
didn't
didn't
say
look that
what
closely
account it
at
was
it, but
for. If you looked at the little ones, it would just say like 1.5 million or something, but it didn't say like who it was.
huh.
So it's like
That is weird.
that's
Maybe
not
it was just
helpful. I'm like, this is not
a limit to the graphic design.
sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
Well,
But
it
I'm sure
says
like,
here,
you could figure that out before you put it out, whatever, either way. But yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't
Mug
know where that
Mug
came
Club
from
is
either.
doing just fine. No. Mug Club is obviously killing it, folks. Ah,
This is also the first time I ever heard of Mug Club. I'll also say this is the first time I've really watched an actual Steven Crowder video. I think the only things I'd seen before were clips
right.
clowning on him, probably. And boy, oh boy, is it bad! And it picks up where we just were with the post beeper attack and the
Perfect.
glee and excitement that Crowder and his pathetic sycophant hangers on paid live laugh track slaves in the studio. Um, they get a big kick out of it. But yeah, Mug Club. What the,
Mug Club.
what am I missing there? Is it in reference to like they are trying to be like kind of like a morning news, like we have mugs of coffee, or is it mugs like faces? What's going on there?
I think it's you join Steven Crowder's Mug Club and you get to join in with him in drinking a cup of hot cum every morning.
There is a
Yeah.
cup of a mug of steaming cum right here at the on the
Yeah.
thumbnail image.
That's what it's all about. No, I have
And
no fucking clue what the Mug Club thing is, really. I mean, I just know that it exists. You know what I mean?
I basically watched the first, I'd say 26 minutes somehow. I don't know how I did it. And part of it I was like just listening, not really watching, but whatever, of this hour long YouTube video that he posted entitled Beep Beep Boom. He was right there on the
That's
ground
pretty good.
floor with that
Pretty good.
one.
Pretty good.
Was
I like
Israel's
that.
attack on Hezbollah funny or a war crime? Where do you think Steven Crowder will land on this rhetorical question? All right, I'm not going to play all the Mug Club shit. I thought we just talked about it, whatever. But I'll also say, and this is probably just a symptom of like stupid YouTube media, whatever, of the day. But the first, like, I don't know, it felt like 5 minutes at least. I don't know how long it really was, but there's just such a long intro before they actually get into the video here. But I guess that's to be expected. It's all just like basically ads and whatnot. But yeah, the rundown for their video of the day was so this terrorist attack just happened, but then they have at the top of the list to talk about Billie Eilish's endorsement of Kamala Harris. They're outraged by this.
Right, right.
Seems a little bit of a weird formatting
good
for
time.
the day's news, but
It was a good time, you know. It's nice to go back and reminisce about that, the pre Trump 2 era. Yeah. People were mad about
yeah,
some silly things.
were we ever
Remember the
so
dress? What color was the dress? When people cared about that.
Well, that actually does seem ancient, that one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember when that was from, really.
Also, what is with this strange animal thing on the video? Did you understand that?
No,
Is it
no
just the
idea.
name of the song or something? So they have everything broken up into chapters here. Intro, opening / strange animal. Anyway, let's hear some of this bullshit. Welcome to Mugville. And they have like a kind of Teletubbies sun rising thing, but it's got the face of that old CNN host. And Stranger
Oh, I guess the
Things.
song is Strange Animal.
Anyway,
That's why it says that.
It's very
song
soy.
is-
This is very soy intro, I gotta say. Here he comes with his mug.
Paging all terrorists. It's
Uproarious laughter. Paging all
Because
terrorists.
I remember pagers.
Fucking nailed them.
You were the really cool kid. You didn't have one of the bigger black ones. You had one of the new ones that was like semi-translucent.
Here's how he
like
sucks
a
you
little
in.
Game
He
Boy Color with
remembers
fuchsia.
being
That's
a
how you knew you
teenager
were really cool.
That's what I had.
in the early
And,
2000s.
turns
Is
out
he
the
70 years old?
Terrorists.
Now,
Or MAME.
Pagers?
Or MAME.
No, pagers were like the 80s.
I'll take either.
Yeah, you're right. I think maybe he's referencing like I feel like there were still maybe drug dealers in when I was like a freshman in high school in 98 that maybe still use pagers. But actually, I don't know. I'm basing this all on actually like people like Steven Crowder reminiscing about their high school days, which
Right.
are basically my high school days, I'm assuming.
Right.
Anyway,
Well, that was
whatever.
like no, but that was like when I talked about when I was watching The Wire and how like I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast or not, but like the fact that they talked like people that would have been like 50 years older than they were because it was written by old white guys. So they were using slang that was from like fucking a decade prior, like not even a decade, like 4 decades prior throughout it. And then like they had pagers and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so out of fucking date for the time. And that's like the same as this was what you're saying. Like you hearing these guys who are like years older than you talk about this shit has like colored your like remembering things like that was like no one had fucking pagers when we were kids.
No, you're totally
That was
right.
not a thing.
I misremembered. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway. um,
Yeah.
So fuck. Whatever. I'm gonna skip a lot of the
Fuck
bullshit.
this guy. We hate
I
Steven
mean, it's
Crowder,
all
folks.
bullshit. But here,
I'm gonna look up how
here's
old
the
this asshole
actual
says he is.
addressing the story. He's also
Ain't
wearing
no
a
fucking way.
shirt that says
Yeah.
"Fight like hell." Something. I can't read underneath it. 2 Louder with Crowder mugs on his desk. Some sort of tablet.
Maybe that's-
I mean, I guess a
Yeah.
libcuck iPad.
And the gun.
The gun. What's with
Don't
that
forget the
gun
gun.
with the little
He-
stand holding it up? It just
He
seems
always has
very
a gun.
soyified to me for a gun.
Yeah. You don't remember this? There was like a whole big time where like he was wearing like gun holsters and having guns on him while he was doing and it was a whole thing. It was like a proud to open carry American I love guns. And the thing about
Vaguely
Steven Crowder is,
remembering
as you
that,
said,
yeah.
he is so incredibly soy. Like that is the thing about Steven Crowder is he is like really being forced to do this. He's like, this is the, heterosexuality is a fucking prison kind of guy. Like this is not a life for Steven Crowder, man. He's not built for this. But he's like, it's the last bastion for the fucking, failed actor, failed fucking entertainer is to just do right-wing grift at the fucking bottom of the barrel like this. Because I mean, the Mug Club is down bad. I'm using it wrong, which drives me crazy because people do it this way. Mug Club is down so bad that they had to partner with Alex Jones. Like that was
He's
to
part of the
level that
Mug
he got.
Club.
Alex Jones, he licenses Alex Jones content for Mug Club, and he recorded episodes of his show out of the fucking InfoWars studio. You know what I mean? Like he is, he's not doing so hot. I know you said like, oh, that he's got a good following, but that's like the problem with social media. This is the social media dilemma, right? Is accounts build up big followings, but then the engagement falls off, and the accounts that follow you never leave. Right? Because they just, how often do you go into your shit and unsubscribe to YouTube channels? You probably never do that shit. But
It
that
takes
doesn't
a
mean
while.
you're watching any of those videos. You know what I mean?
I actually
So it's-
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just unsubscribed to Pearly Things the other day because I had subscribed when we were researching about
Right,
the
right.
manosphere.
That
I was
funny.
like, God, I can't
watched-
fucking. And I somebody came up and I was like, all right, I guess, did I subscribe to that? I guess I did. Anyway,
She fell off so fucking hard. It's sad. The Pearly Things fall off was fucking sad
She's
because I
always been
saw.
awful.
No, I mean she's off, but I'm saying she was ascendant. It was like, oh, this is gonna be the next big
Oh, right.
thing.
Yeah.
She's such a good, like, I watched an old video where someone was talking about her like that. And this was only from like a year ago, a year and a half ago. And she is absolutely irrelevant now. No one fucking cares about this bitch. She does not exist. And it's like, I saw people on the Red Scare subreddit saying that, like, oh, the Patreon numbers are dwindling. What's next? Who's gonna like pick up the mantle for them? Because clearly they're falling off. They're not that invested. They're fucking doing pump and dump meme coins, like just out in the open. Like they are just
Red
not
Scare
like,
is
really. Yeah. They both did their own coins.
What?
This, that, and the other. But it
This
is
news
like
to
that.
me.
That style of grift, because Pearly Things, Red Scare, all of them, they're like in the same milieu, I will say, of like, fucking women who basically just like throw women under the bus,
Pick me shit.
and yeah, pick me shit is just like completely fucking who cares. And it is, yeah, it's like, what the, anyways, Steven Crowder, he's part of that crew, anyways. Also, Steven Crowder is a pick me, is basically what I'm saying.
I think also people should keep in mind how easy it is to just buy followers.
Right.
I know personally of a podcast that did that once, and I won't say who, but it wasn't me.
Sure. You don't want to bot the follows though. You want to bot the engagements. That's the real trick.
Right. So like here it says Steven Crowder's YouTube channel, 5.72 million subscribers. This video has 7.3 thousand likes.
Right.
And it's from September 2024.
Yeah.
Anyway,
160 views, right? 160,000 views, and he's got 5 million subscribers. See what I'm saying about like people subscribe, but they don't engage with the content in any way.
People may, but there's also the possibility that they just bought people. You just can like go to a website and throw down money, and a bunch of accounts from Indonesia will follow you, whatever.
Bangladesh. Yeah, for sure.
But here's what these geniuses had to say about the pager attacks. We'll listen to some of it.
I saw this story yesterday. I was like, no way. Well, and there's been some misreporting out there, just to be clear. So we want to correct the record. But I will say this: the gist is correct. Terrorists tried to purchase pagers to be more effective in killing Jews.
Yes,
and somehow they were intercepted, and the pagers were used to kill terrorists. That's the fun part.
Turnabout is fair play.
But don't take my word for it. Here's actually a clip, I believe, from Al Jazeera discussing the pagers being used by Hezbollah in Lebanon blowing up.
Just to update you on what we are covering by way of breaking news this hour, dozens of members of the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah appear to have been simultaneously targeted by their pagers being remotely detonated. We don't know the full extent of their injuries. We don't know the full scale of the number of people that may have been killed as a result of that. But what we do know is that Hezbollah has described this as a major security breach.
I'd say so.
Hilarious.
Damn, absolute truth. Where'd you find this?
You, Barbara? So 12 people.
What is that? What is that?
Killed
that we know so far.
Huh?
What is that reference? What is that reference? They're coming for you, Barbara. I don't have any fucking clue what that is.
Oh, that's like a horror movie. I forget which one, but it's a pretty. I only know it from like some.
Is that from like the 50s? Also, is this something from the 40s back when Steven
It's
Crowder
an old.
was just
It's
a young
definitely
12-year-old?
old. It's definitely old, and I
There's
only know it from like a movie podcast that has a drop that uses it or something. And I can't even remember what movie it is. It's some kind of classic horror movie, maybe.
Wikipedia tries to claim that this motherfucker is 37 years old. There is no fucking way.
We were saying that he's got to be older than me to be talking about pagers like that.
He has to be. It's insane that they're like, yeah.
It's like how Laura Loomer's 31 or whatever.
Yeah, fucking right, bitch. Yeah, right.
All right, I'm just gonna play it until I think there's a part where they do something with some fucking like new metal song that's really bad.
Wait,
We know of so far.
Holy shit.
Injured, including, by the way.
Sorry. Crowder Wikipedia. I didn't know this. This motherfucker is a stealth Canadian. You know how all of these fucking shitty...
That makes so much sense to me, though.
He's never mentioned on the list of Canadians, like, oh, the shitty, like, fucking right-wing Canadian grifters that are in America. And here's why. His dad is from Detroit. He was born in Detroit, Michigan, but his mom is French-Canadian, and they moved to Quebec when he was 3 years old. So he grew up in Quebec, which is not even regular Canadian. It's fucking gay-ass French-Canadian. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is why he's like that, for sure.
It's him and Anthony Blinken going to fancy boy boarding school in Gay Paris.
Yeah, right.
All right, just a little bit more here.
I believe the Iranian ambassador to Lebanon. We have that there from.
Why would Iran's ambassador to Lebanon have one of the Hezbollah pagers?
He could have been pager adjacent.
I don't think so.
It was just an accident.
Yeah. Well, and I have to warn you, the following video does include some portions where you will see terrorists being partially blown up. I don't know if we need to dump portions of this just so you can see some of the fallout. I also warn you that what you're about to watch,
folks,
is a lot of fun.
Every last one. A militant terrorist. The 4-year-old, the 12-year-old, people shopping. Jesus, what is that fucking clip? All right, enough of this bullshit.
It's fucking. This was the most targeted attack of all time, as they say. I think so. I think I heard someone say that. Someone in one of these.
No, they've said it many times. Yeah, they're like, this is surgical precision.
Attack. How many fucking casualties were there? I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Anyways.
I forget off the top of my head, but it's.
There was.
There were like 3,000 injury, like fairly serious injuries at least, and then I want to say it was like in the 80s. Anyway, I'm not going to look it up, but it was significant, and
but it
definitely
was not
more than a few children. And the thing is they just, he doesn't even say Hezbollah; he just says terrorists because whatever. It's Steven Crowder. But even if you're like every armed militant of Hezbollah is automatically deserves to have their genitals shredded or have their lives taken in this way, even if that's your stance, it still doesn't line up with what actually fucking happened in this thing. But whatever. Right. To really get the full effect of that fucking Crowder thing, we have to play way more than I want to play. So let's, I don't know, fuck it. Move on, I guess. Unless you have any last words on Steve.
This is a podcast where this is a podcast where we do not play. So we're deadly serious when it comes to Mug Club. Don't talk to me before I've had my semen is what Steven Crowder's mug says. Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. The guy is just, he's just, I said that other lady was the worst, but he's just so fucking unfunny. Like, and he, like you say, he pays those people to laugh to like help to pretend like there's like even a semblance of jokes going on. But it's like, it's really not even fucking jokes. There's like really like no humor half the time. So yeah, pretty fucking brutal.
You mean you didn't lose your mind laughing when he said paging all terrorists to kick things off?
Yeah, that was they opened it up and they acted like that was anything. It was what the fuck?
You know what I think of every time I hear that very familiar sound of like vaguely off mic laughter on a podcast studio lot for a YouTube podcast, video podcast. I think of fucking Two Bears, One Cave. Fucking Tom Segura and what's his face? Bert Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer.
One of compared to the people we've just been talking about today, I guess Bert Kreischer is almost chuckle worthy. But also one of the worst comedians.
Funny.
No, he sucks. I fucking hate him. I might hate him more than these people.
He's literally too stupid to have an opinion about anything going on in Israel and Gaza. but
Yeah.
in Palestine, I should say. But if you did talk to him about it for even like 15 seconds, he would definitely say something bad.
It
He would
would
definitely
just,
end up on the wrong side of things.
and it would just be about his daily struggles
Yeah.
of having too much money, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, they like, because I don't know why. I don't think I wouldn't say I watched a lot of it, but for some reason there was a period where that kept coming up on like YouTube algorithms and stuff. I think it's just because they have actual funny people on as guests sometimes.
Right.
So I'd be like, all right, I'll see what that person has to say. And every time they would like the beginning of their videos, you'd hear that same like producer or whatever in the background, like just their off mic laughter. They're obviously putting in there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something so insidious about the whole phenomenon to me, but whatever. It's
like,
very
Steve,
common these days. Yeah.
Oh man, it would be so good if they got like reaction audio of people reacting to Steve Harvey and they used it for Steve Crowder. Ah, damn, Steve, you crazy. Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Let's see. I mean, honorable mentions, I guess. We don't really need to get into Michael Rappaport. We've talked about him enough already.
Oh, I mean,
on the show.
I mean, he kind of doesn't count for this, but even though he kind of does, he is legitimate. He is this thing that we're talking about, but he's also like he is such like the high bar for like media relevancy for something like this that he almost transcends and becomes his own thing, even though he is like the pro-Zionist comedian guy.
I kind of had to double check, like, does he even consider himself a stand-up comedian? And he does. He still tours and like,
really?
I found
really? I thought he was just an actor.
No,
he does comedy?
He does stand-up, and he started off doing stand-up like before he was an actor, and I'm assuming it was all awful. But the only thing I pulled about him on here is him talking on like some local news in Chicago about how his comedy show got canceled because of his Zionist views.
Yeah, that's why.
Let's see. We have to skip a bunch of these people. Rabbi Shmuley is a good one. I mean, he's not a comedian per se, but he tries to be funny sometimes.
I like him. I laugh every time I see him.
I mean, that's the thing about the the theme of Zionist comedy is like they're inadvertent comedians. I mean, I included the like press secretary for the Israeli government on here as a kind of comedian, but Shmuley.
And it's also funny to think about the fact that he was a close confidant of Michael Jackson. That's funny. That's funny for me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot about this. Man. And in front of you, fucking kid, man. Have some decency.
Yeah, I included some Rabbi Shmuley clip here. He dressed up as a, quote, Candace Owens Jew, as he said on Twitter. Or is it just dress up? Or are we Jews deep down always like this? Filth, money, drunk on Christian blood, and dual loyalties for Israel.
Now, here's the part where he's flawed from, again, the crux. This is the thing where I say they just don't get it. It's hard for them to understand the subtleties and the nuance. A Candace Owen Jew would be dead. That would be her preferred version. So anyways, continue.
Well, what? But Candace is a based Palestinian solidarity activist. Say the fucking morons. Yeah, I mean the funny thing about this is that Rabbi Shmuley by himself is already a Martin Luther King era, not Martin Luther King, sorry, drop the King, Martin Luther era, like anti-Semitic cartoon trope by himself. He doesn't need to put on. So here he's got this giant, prosthetic nose on. He has filth written on his forehead. He's 2 Israeli flags like on his cheeks, and he has a T-shirt that has $100 bills all over it, and in what it is supposed to look like blood, the Candace Jew is what it just says. And he's holding a young child. I don't know if it's one of his 9 children, which I just discovered he has 9 of them.
I think that might be one of Elon Musk's kids, because he's now renting them out to be used as body armor for others.
Yes, it's a human shield style, holding a kid while he goes off here. I don't know if this is the one clip that I saw over and over again or not. I didn't actually check it, but let's find out together. Here we go.
Hey, why not?
Hi, everybody. Purim is a day of celebration. We feel bad for...
Also, he's definitely drunk off his ass in this clip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Here we go, Shmuley.
Hi, everybody. Purim is a day of celebration. We feel bad for Candace Owens that she lost her job. So I figure, with her image of what Jews are supposed to look like, why not at least validate her? I am dressed up as a Candace Owens Jew. Now, this is not a Christian child, this Jewish child. But if it would be, I got my Christian blood.
He's drinking
delicious.
Christian blood,
I got my
folks.
Jewish nose. I have filth, because Jews are all filth. And more than anything else, what does 80 have? Money! Yeah, we Jews are all about money!
All about the Benjamins.
Wait, all about the Benjamins. Wait, I'm getting a little bit thirsty. Where's the matzah? I don't want to finish the whole thing and not mix it into the matzah. So can someone just bring me... She did say that I was getting... She liked that tweet that I'm getting drunk on Christian blood. So let's do it the right.
That's pretty good.
So good. Benafuchu, Purim is a day that our enemies fall, my brothers and sisters. This is the way they want us to look. I'll do it for one night. I'll indulge them. If it floats their boat, why not? Oh, my horn! They're covered by my yarmulke. Okay, happy Purim, everybody.
All right.
Pretty good. It's pretty good, pretty funny. I like it. This would be a great video.
Does the sound fucked up for you, or is it just me?
Nah, it's fine for me.
Something's fucking wrong. God damn it. I blame Rabbi Shmuley
Boteach
for ruining my earbuds there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't hear the amazing shit he was saying in the last 30 seconds of that clip, but whatever.
Yeah. I'm sure it was good.
Yeah, it must have been great.
He was saying stuff about doing blood. He had a little blood boy with him. Anyway.
Drinking Christian blood, hilarious jokes, humor jokes.
Mm-hmm. We get it.
Him with filth written on his forehead, and then in the context, when you like look at his career, say via Wikipedia, and that most of the
store that he owns with his daughter,
the porn store, the sex toy, the kosher sex shop or whatever it is, and the fact that where's his bibliography here. Kosher sex, a recipe for passionate intimacy. Kosher adultery, seduce and sin with your spouse. The Kosher Sutra, 8 sacred secrets for reigniting desire and restoring passion for life. Kosher Jesus. Is that a sex one too?
Oh, hell yeah. So you can take communion and still be Jewish.
I heard something the other day about him where the Kosher Jesus book got him like denounced by like a huge segment of worldwide Jewry. Like, you can't be doing that, man. That's kind of fucks up the whole thing we've got going. Just like Jesus is actually pretty cool, guys. A little bit of a god.
He's kind of based. He was goated with the sauce.
And finally, kosher lust. Love is not the answer. Sex is the answer. He's a sex guy. He's a marriage sex man.
He's actually, to be fair, he is a sex rabbi. But yes.
He's really into fucking, and he likes writing about it and getting all that money for his books, his sex books.
The thing about it where you're saying like the filth and then the filth, whatever, like, in that, like, the part about it to me that is just the most fucking abhorrent, disgusting, and filthy is just like the the blatant cash grab of it all, being like profiting off of religion and like turning it into like a tantalizing sex thing. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's like the most disgusting and filthy part of it. It's not the sex part. I'm fine with all of that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
doing the kosher adultery, kosher, like being like doing like
No, it's
nasty sex.
It's just cringe as fuck. It's just
but the
very
way God
cringe.
wants you to do it, it's not even cringe. It's just, I mean, cringe is definitely a way to describe it for sure. But like, just how blasphemous it feels to be like, let me cash in on this purient sex stuff in the name of the Lord. And you're supposed to be a fucking religious person. Like, it's really fucking gross. It's craven. It legitimately is craven, and it makes him seem like a money grubbing, disgusting. Anyways, continue on.
But see, he preempts all that by wearing the it's all about the Benjamins t-shirt.
Yes.
So you cannot call him out for that. That's you're doing anti-Semitism.
I'm doing anti-Semitic tropes.
It's funny. His thing about sex, though, just in the Wikipedia entry here.
Oh, the funny thing about him in the Wikipedia entry here, I'm looking at it right now. I'm at Rabbi Shmuley's Wikipedia entry, and it's interesting because he has so many books and things about sex. It actually says right here that he's actually never had sex. He's not once ever had sex. All of his kids were conceived immaculately. Wink, wink. So that is interesting. It's funny that you brought that up, Josh.
He's against. He says he's against the lights being on and masturbation.
Sure.
So he's like
those things not kosher.
He's like edgy sex man because he says here passionate lovemaking, blah blah blah. Only sex has the capacity to bring in its wake an overwhelming tidal wave of positive emotion, which makes us feel intensely good about each other, which conversation can't do, which friendship can't do, which shared experiences can't do.
Not the way I do it.
Couples should have the dirtiest sex where they can't control themselves, where the beast within is awakened. That's what this is. You look at Rabbi Shmuley and you're like, I'm not sure if
fucks real good.
I'm not sure if I like all this stuff he has to say about dead babies and Pallywood, but I'd like to imagine him fucking dirty style.
Yeah. I want to really think about him getting randy, getting a randy nut off with a fit right bird. Yeah, that's what I like to think about.
He also seems to have had a real evolution about his stance on homosexuality, but whatever. Rabbi Shmuley, ladies and gentlemen, that's Rabbi Shmuley.
I'm gonna assume that his change on his stance on homosexuality had to do with when he joined the Mug Club.
Yeah. Louder with Crowder. Something there about being closeted, but proclaiming that you're loud and proud and crowd.
I shout out to the Majority Report commenter IMer who had the username that was "Come Shower with Crowder."
That's good. The Israeli SNL, folks.
Oh,
Eretz Nehederet, which translates to something very sort of normal, if I'm remembering right. But now I can't seem to find it. Doesn't matter.
It translates to "Who ate all the pussy?"
Yes. So, Israeli sketch comedy show institution, really, Who Ate All the Pussy.
Mm-hmm. 25 years of, I don't know, maybe 50 years, I don't know, whatever. Somehow the Israeli comedy show has existed longer than Israel, which is not a stretch because I think Israel hasn't been around as long as Saturday Night Live at this point.
It says one of the longest running scripted shows in Israeli television. 20 seasons as of 2022. This had like a little bit of a moment, at least in, say, the online leftosphere. There was like one sketch being circulated around, I don't know, sometime within the last 16, 17 months.
Sure.
It was like the woke college kids who don't know what they're talking about with this
Right.
free Palestine bullshit sketch. But
Yeah.
they've also had on Zionist luminaries and hilarious figures like Brett Gelman and Noah Tishby. Noah Tishby, I'd somehow like avoided knowing about until looking into all this shit. But she's one of the big I don't know, paid propagandists on
Sure.
Twitter and whatnot, just with all the worst takes on Earth. But I did find, I mean, there's so many terrible sketches on this show, but there's one I'll play for us from where Brett Gelman, Jewish American, friend of the show,
Big Daddy Dick Stank himself.
a guy who I, at least for some period of time, actually thought was pretty funny. He seemed to do pretty decent comedy work. Not stand-up, I don't think. More just like little sketches and
Comedy Bang Bang, right?
I did re-listen to his iBrain segment, which is somewhat legendary on it was Comedy Death Ray, I believe, even before the name change to Bang Bang.
But, unlike you, I don't like to dead name podcasts, so whatever, that's fine.
And man, he was funny. That was funny shit. He like had these little like scripted things he wrote and go on Comedy Bang Bang. iBrain was great. There was another one I can't remember like the name of, but it was like kind of a parody of like Billy Crystal like waxing nostalgic about the old days playing stickball in New York or whatever. That's all I can remember about it, and they just kept doing this like the same music sting over and over on it. But iBrain is good. Check out iBrain. Do a search for Brett Gelman iBrain, as in like iPod, iPad. Yeah. I don't even know anymore, or I believe what he said, microwave.
But yeah, that's Big Daddy. That's one that sticks in my head, and it was after iBrain because part of the gimmick was they like claimed that he was banned from the show because of the iBrain
yeah
thing. And so they were mentioning that, but then he like came on and then he was like reading like some kind of story that he told. And the only reason why like it sticks in my head is because like in the story of the thing, he's like, telling the person like, and then you're going to say like, like it's like he's like talking about having sex or whatever. And he's like, and then you're going to say, oh yeah, give it to me, Big Daddy Dick Stank. And just to be clear, that's me. I'm Big Daddy Dick Stank. It's not somebody else. And that always just stuck in my head. It was a funny, stupid bit. But yeah.
So
he was funny on Comedy Bang Bang back in the day, and then he turned into this. And here's the thing about Gelman, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but not me. I don't know him personally, but I've had mutual friends or whatever. And even before all of this shit came out, even before the first divorce, even before all of that stuff, I was told by people who knew him personally, and, let's say ladies on the younger side, as Donald Trump would say, that he was a fucking creep and a perv, and that it was fucking annoying to be around him because he would just like latch on and he was clingy. He wouldn't give space, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it was kind of known that he was annoying and he was that way. And he was a bit of a pariah, even as he was like building up his name and this, that, and the other within like the social scenes. Because it was like, oh, as soon as he had any fucking juice, he would just be all over anyone that would fucking give him even a second or a moment of attention. Anyone who had ever heard of him or ever seen him on anything. He was just always trying to take advantage of that in, let's say, lascivious ways. And it made me kind of sour on him again. Like I said, even before any of this happened, I was just like, that sucks that this guy who I've thought of as pretty funny is a fucking creep, and then he's getting enough heat where wasn't he on like Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
Which is like this huge fucking show. And it's like, oh, this guy is like actually becoming like kind of a celebrity in some way. And he's just taking advantage of that and being fucking nasty. And so it's kind of nice that all of this it's maybe the one good thing that came out of the genocide is that like all of that heat is fucking dead. He is fucking persona non grata now. People do not like this motherfucker because he's fucking disgusting and obnoxious and annoying. And it was bound to happen. You know what I mean? He's got a shitty personality and he's a bad guy. And yes, he was funny. And yes, I do continue to think he's funny. But it was bound to come out at some point that people were going to find out that he sucks. It's just kind of lame, kind of a bummer that the way that it comes out is this, which is like almost socially acceptable still. Whereas like if he got canceled for like a Me Too thing, he might just be out of entertainment altogether. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. He still can probably get work, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, so like since October 7th, like the story is that he just came out as a very loud and proud Zionist in a very obnoxious way. I mean, it's all obnoxious, but like he basically just, yeah, if you were still hanging on and didn't know about the sort of problematic stuff that you just described, you might have just assumed, oh, he's still cool, right? I think I was vaguely there. I wasn't keeping up with him or anything. Wasn't like a diehard fan, but I was like the iBrain guy. But like the iBrain thing is from like 2010 or something.
Yeah, right.
Ancient history, but here's how the mighty have fallen, I suppose, or whatever. Here's him doing some of the worst fucking quote unquote comedy ever on this Israeli equivalent to SNL sketch show. And this is another style of humor that the Zionist humorists do is they put on a pink or purple or blue haired wig and just do that. pronouns humor, basically, which is
pronouns
funny because
bio, folks.
So many of these are like at the same time that they're doing that, they're like, taking the woke down a peg. Then they're also their whole thing is also, let's go to a Palestinian rooftop party, gays. Like, isn't it hypocritical how gay people support Palestine? Because they're just gonna get executed immediately if you ever went there. You don't even know what's going on. You don't live in the Holy Land. And so this is called The Gospel According to Berkeley, a special Christmas sketch featuring Brett Gelman. And the first thing I see on the thumbnail is the subtitle, So Akbar. So that gives you a hint at what's to come. And
God damn it.
Here we go. Oh, God, I didn't realize this was 3 minutes long. We're not going to watch this whole thing. We'll watch a little bit, a small amount.
What? More visitors?
Hilarious.
Greetings, Joseph and Miriam from Nazareth. The Star of Bethlehem and GPS showed us the way to your door. Allow us to introduce ourselves. We are three wise men from the West.
Okay, three wise persons.
Of course. May we enter?
Love the decor. Very earthy.
Yes, so sustainable.
Oh, yes. What are these walls? Cadillac?
I'm sorry, but it's really late. I just had a baby.
Yeah, and we already had a visit from the three wise men from the East. They just left, so maybe it's not a good time.
With all due respect to these Eastern wise men, we're from Berkeley.
Okay. Anyway, they gave us their blessing and they told us that our newborn son will be the king of the Jews.
Jews? Jews? What do you mean Jews?
I don't see anything Jewish here.
You have to understand, Jews will only come to this land 1,948 years from now.
As a colonialist power.
Oh, I see someone's been listening this semester.
True.
What do you mean? We are Jews.
No, you're not.
So what are we?
You are Palestinians, of course.
That drip is fire.
Oh, God.
Palestinians, the indigenous inhabitants of this land. In the beginning, God created the heaven, the earth, and Palestinians.
Wait, so my baby is also Palestinian man?
Of course. And you don't practice Judaism, you practice Islam.
Allahu Akbar, man.
So Akbar.
What is Islam?
I'm sorry. That's a very Islamophobic question.
Actually, it makes me feel unsafe.
So, wait a minute. Our baby will be the king of the Palestinians?
Exactly. Too bad he'll be dead at a very young age because he'll be murdered by the Jews.
Oh, my God.
Excuse me, Professor. So there are Jews living here?
No. Only Palestinians.
Oh, so the Palestinians will kill Jesus?
No Palestinian would ever hurt anyone. Never. Especially not Hamas.
Wait, I don't understand.
Okay, guys, this is exactly what our next class is about, all right? How did the Jews kill Jesus without even existing? It's going to be fun, all right? Don't worry about it.
It's so worth 54 grand a year in tuition.
Right?
Kidding.
Anyways, congratulations on your definitely not Jewish baby boy.
Yay, woo. Can we go visit Santa in the North Pole?
North Palestine.
Oh,
North Palestine. Right. Santa is a Palestinian too.
Santa Akbar.
Very good.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, that's the closest thing to something funny in the whole thing. Is Santa Akbar.
I didn't even get that far when I was watching it as research. I bailed before the Santa bullshit.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know. Go ahead, please.
One thing I wanted to mention though is like, it is kind of wrong that people refer to it as Israeli Saturday Night Live, because isn't regular Saturday Night Live Israeli Saturday Night Live?
Yes, and Ukrainian Israeli Night Live. Yeah, I mean, obviously
that was bad. I think the
whole
not funny, I think would be a way to describe it.
The whole premise of people that are pro-Palestine are claiming that Jews never lived in Palestine is just nothing
and they don't
that
exist.
Anyone has ever said ever.
Right.
Like you hear the exact opposite, but whatever.
Right.
This is just insanely stupid propaganda.
I think most people's argument against like the right of return thing isn't like you guys never lived there. It's like just because you claim the Bible says this doesn't mean that you're just allowed to take stuff from people. You know what I mean? Like that's like the argument. People don't say like they don't say like this was Jews never lived here. That's fucking insane. Yeah, it's just. But that's how comedy works, right? You take something and you take it to an extreme, right, to make it funny. But
yeah.
That's the problem. That's the problem with them trying to do comedy. Them, in triple parentheses, is that again, like I was talking about earlier, they're trying to pretend like they're telling the truth. So they're trying to exaggerate for the purpose of comedy, but also be like, but also this is real and it's what they think. It's right. We're just holding up a mirror to reality, so we're exaggerating it for comic effect, but also it's just true. And it's like, huh? Which one is it now? I can't. This is hard to follow, you guys. Like it's not. It doesn't make any sense. There's no internal logic. It's just like saying they can only play one character.
There's like no distinction between like the comedic premise and anything that follows. It's all just one thing. It's all been flattened into this one like two-dimensional thing that there's no source for comedy there. There has to be like space between like what is and like what's possible, like what can be imagined or heightened or whatever. And when you collapse that, then there's just nothing. There's literally no room for real laughs other than like, I mean, where the laughs are coming from in that like, ridiculous laugh track or whatever. I mean, I guess maybe it's a live audience, whatever, is at the totally false premise of like, oh, these idiot college kids think Jews never lived in this area of the world until 1948. But They don't think that at all. Like literally no one says that. So there goes your comedy.
Right. Again, it's like, wouldn't it be so funny if they didn't even think that Jews lived here ever at all? Huh? Isn't that great? It'd be tough to, but then also, like I said, it's like, but also that's true, and that's what they think because they're evil and stupid. It's like, but you're getting it's the classic, Matt Christman conservative comedy flaw that they get too upset in the middle of making a joke to finish it, and they're just mad.
Right.
It's like the premise of the joke is, oh, wouldn't this be funny if, but then halfway through you're like, but actually it's real and I fucking hate them.
That's true. Like I mean, I guess I would go even a step further and just say like, there's nowhere to go when your premise is completely based in something that's just not real. There's no basis for it in
Right.
reality. Like, and I'm all for like zany, surreal comedy and absurdist comedy, but like there has to be something rooted in something real for it. Like,
Well,
I think on the most basic level, like that's what comedy is. It's like, well, anyway, you go ahead.
no. I'm just gonna let you finish your point.
I kind of lost my point, but
Oh, yeah, all I was gonna say was, well, like there doesn't need to be a root if you're willing to just have it be completely, off the rails, absurd. But you then can't, again, like my point keeps being like, you can't pretend like, yeah, but we're actually just speaking truth to power or whatever, we're actually, like, you can't be like, I'm dropping truth bombs and then also do absurdist comedy. You like, again, like it just doesn't work because like they actually believe this, folks. Like, that dumbass conservative meme that they love to post. It's fucking. I'm trying to think. What's his name? Like Sam Harris? Is that the cowboy guy? That actor the actor that looks like a cowboy.
it's definitely
not Sam Harris.
New atheist Sam Harris.
But. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he was like the original Marlboro Man. But like, that's just the conservative meme is like the picture of him in the Big Lebowski in the drinking the beer, wearing the cowboy hat in the bowling alley.
Okay.
They actually believe this, folks. Yeah, that thing. That's the crux of their joke that they're trying to do. It's like, oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous. The joke is literally just point and laugh. So it's not like they're trying to extend something that's just a meme into like a fucking sketch, and you can't heighten and make it crazier while also being like, and this is real. This is actually what they think. Sam Elliott. That's his name.
Yeah. There we go. Sam Elliott. I've probably seen some. I feel like I've seen conservative type, whatever, mega people trying to claim him culturally in some way. All right. Brett Gelman is really SNL. Let's end this
more like
let's end this on something actually good. Bad Hasbara. I've got a clip from them talking about why Zionists not just can't make comedy, but can't make Jewish comedy specifically. And I like the Bad Hasbara boys. I think they've got good stuff to say, and I just want to hear what they have to say about this. And then they also did something interesting with Chat GPT, which maybe we can close out on that. So, why Zionists can't make Jewish comedy, from Matt Lieb and Daniel Mate, brother of Aaron.
The fact is that the gifts of being a Jew in exile, there's an outsider status that grants us a perspective. We can see through the false permanence of regimes and empires because we know that everything changes. We're here one generation, we'll be somewhere else the next. We don't get too attached to objects or identifications because we're identified with a tradition, and traditions that are portable,
right?
That we can take with us on our backs, like the matzah and Passover,
right?
And what is that? That's storytelling, that's humor, that's poking fun at the powerful. Now, what happens when we become the powerful? We have to kill off our ability to see complexity, and it becomes crude and it becomes sentimental.
Cringe
is how you say a cringe.
Yeah, it is cringe. I've said before, it's not gallows humor when the Hangman makes a joke. Like,
oh shit!
Oh yeah! Oh damn! It's full circle.
Yeah.
Oh man!
I swear I didn't. I probably heard that because I definitely listened to this podcast, but I didn't remember. I was not referencing that.
I didn't even make the connection, and I just like listened to this like the other day. But anyway, great minds, folks. Great minds / broken clocks.
Right.
I love that Bad Hasbara music, by the way.
Yeah.
It's great about all the things that Israelis invented, including the act of drinking water and eating food. Maybe I'll just play their music, the outro today.
Yeah, right.
But on that tip, they, on a somewhat recent episode, Daniel Matte's girlfriend engaged with Chat GPT and asked it if Zionism is a psychosis, and I thought the results were pretty interesting, which they read on the podcast. But I got the text of it here. I plugged in the same question: is Zionism a psychosis? Which is how Daniel Matte said it on the show, and it did not give me this result. I had to like try a couple different ways to get something similar, but I just screen grabbed from their video because they were showing the text on the video, and I did also try to see if what's the Chinese AI chat bot called? I forgot already.
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek also failed me on that. But anyway, here's some of it at least. It's not even he didn't even read the whole thing on their podcast. I would be kind of curious to see the full thing, but anyway, it just rang pretty true, and I thought it would be a decent way to end the episode on this topic.
As well. Because
I think a lot of these influencer types, they do seem unhinged, like genuinely, like something's really off. Like some of them, we couldn't get into everybody today, but some of them literally just are like their eyes are just bugging out when they're addressing the camera, and like they're gritting their teeth, and it seems like they're just physically trying to like get past the most obvious realities to, you know, get to their propaganda, and it's unnerving. And here's some Chat GPT scraping the whole internet to come up with what's up with Zionism, y'all. If you're asking whether Zionism functions like a psychosis, that would depend on the framework you're using. Psychosis involves a break from reality, and some argue that Zionist ideology contains elements of ideological delusion, such as the denial of Palestinian existence, the rewriting of history, or the belief in eternal victimhood while exercising power over others. Others, however, see Zionism as a rational, albeit deeply flawed response to historical Jewish persecution. Would you like to explore a psychoanalytic critique of Zionism? Here are some key psychoanalytic frameworks that could be applied. Trauma and repetition compulsion. Sigmund Freud identified how trauma can lead individuals or groups to unconsciously repeat patterns of violence or oppression. Zionism emerged in response to Jewish historical traumas, pogroms, expulsions, the Holocaust. But instead of breaking free from cycles of persecution, it arguably reenacts them by displacing its trauma onto Palestinians. The state of Israel, built as a supposed refuge, perpetrates its own form of ethnic displacement and violence, mirroring the very oppression it sought to escape. Projection and externalized fear. Freud and later psychoanalysts described projection as a defense mechanism where individuals or groups displace their own unwanted qualities onto others. Every accusation is a confession, in other words. Zionism often externalizes Jewish historical victimhood, framing Palestinians as existential threats. This allows Zionist ideology to sustain a sense of Jewish moral purity while justifying preemptive violence. Palestinians, rather than being recognized as victims of Zionism, are instead portrayed as the aggressors. Okay, paranoia and the persecutory fantasy. blah, blah, blah. Freud, Zionism fosters a hypervigilant, the world is against us mentality, even when Israel holds significant military, political, and economic power. The belief that Israel is in perpetual danger despite being a nuclear state with U.S. backing suggests a persecutory delusion where the fear of annihilation justifies ongoing occupation and military aggression. There's a bit about narcissism, and I'll skip that and get to the last part. Disavowal and the denial of Palestinian subjectivity. Psychoanalysis, particularly in Lacanian theory, discusses disavowal, a mechanism where one simultaneously knows and does not know an uncomfortable truth. This is what I was thinking about a lot when watching all these influencer, comedian, whatever types. Zionism requires the disavowal of Palestinian existence. Israel was founded on land where Palestinians lived, yet its dominant narratives insist it was, quote, a land without a people. The Nakba is both known and systematically denied in Israeli consciousness, creating a form of collective repression. Hence, all the people like Brett Gelman.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's a weird thing to encounter, people that are just like really delusional, I guess. But it's like, it seems like even more than that somehow to me. Like, I guess it's just an extreme delusion. All right. I think that's good enough for today.
I think we done it.
And I have a recommendation. There is this guy I just discovered a few hours ago, Tony Greenstein. He's I guess, a pro-Palestinian activist and writer, and he's been at it for a long time. He's an older British gentleman of Jewish descent. Not that that really matters, although it might matter to some people who would like to dismiss him. Marxist as well, which is cool for me. But I'll link in the show notes in the general recommendations area some links to him discussing his book about, it's basically like the whole history of Zionism, but it focuses in particular on the direct collaborations, which I was like referencing earlier today, with fascists and specifically with Nazis in Nazi Germany. It's really interesting shit. I may try to convince my co-host to do an actual book episode at some point. We'll see. Either way, I'm probably going to read the book, getting a thumbs down here from Senator Dick Spill or whatever your name was.
Dick Slurpin. Do you even get the reference? Anyways.
I did, but I just couldn't remember. Durbin, right?
Yeah, because he was one of the motherfuckers that voted for the CR.
All right. Why. The name of his book is Zionism During the Holocaust, the Weaponization of Memory in the Service of State and Nation. And he talked about it on, I watched like 3 different videos. One of them was with Electronic Intifada. 2 of them were over at the Breakthrough News channel, Rania Kalik's various shows on that channel. And it was extremely interesting stuff. And unlike all the bullshit we talked about today, extremely sourced and fact-based. So check that out. Tim, you got anything you want to recommend?
I don't think I have a general recommendation. I would recommend not getting drunk because of St. Patrick's Day, not doing amateur night, but I don't know if this will come out in time to get that to people. But
well, that is this.
I guess you could just say
it?
next year. It's Monday technically, but I think everybody will probably party this weekend.
Right.
So anyway, if you don't listen, if you don't pre-heed the warning that I'm giving you here in the future, don't go out and drink on party holidays. If you're not a normal partier, if you're not someone who goes out and gets drunk and parties all the time, don't do it on this prescribed, like and subscribe, folks. Click that bell, smash that like button. Anyways, just do it when you feel like it. Don't do it on those days because you're more likely to get caught. You're more likely to get, in trouble. You're more likely to overdo it because you're caught up in everything. And and you just come across like an amateur and you're going to get fucking gouged. They're going to overcharge you. They're going to put a couple drops of green food coloring in your beer and charge you 3 times the price. So just, if you want to go out and get hammered drunk, just do it on a random Thursday. Don't do it on St. Patrick's Day. And that is my recommendation. But do Valentine's Day and those kind of holidays. Do the nice ones. And who cares if the Hallmark company made it up or whatever?
Yeah, man.
Someone made up all the holidays. Someone wrote the fucking Bible, they just made that up, and then they came up with fucking Jesus and Easter and shit, and you just pretend like that means it's more important than Valentine's Day? No, do the good holidays. They made them up, but whatever, it's fun. It's just like a ritual, and it's really just a way to waste time until you die. So just appreciate it while you're alive.
Yes, I agree. I co-sign, and I also sign that you should go to the show description and go to our Discord, join the Discord, drop into the Discord, say hello, check out all the other links in the show notes, give us a rating, a reviewing, a subscribing in the various places. And you should also check out Tim's other podcast, which is
violentpeople.co. Just go to the website, check it out. The Violent People 100 for 2024 will be coming out shortly. Check that out. And you can follow me on Twitter at ROHDutch.
All right. Until next week, good night, good luck, good morning, Vietnam.
We invented the cherry tomato and Waze USB drives and the Iron Dome. Israeli salad, Uzi, Stenson, Jaffa's orange grow. Microchips is us. iPhone cameras us. Taco salads us. Podala vamos us. Olive Garden us. White Panther us. Sabra Hamas. Hezbollah us.
And you use water irrigated by Israel.
You take medicine that was invented in Israel. You use cell phones. There's a chip in there that is made in Israel. All of that is Israel.
Jumping jacks was us. Push-ups was us. Krav Maga us. All karate us. Taking Molly us. Michael Jackson us. Yamaha keyboards us. Jar Jar Binks not us. Andor was us. Heath Ledger Joker us. Endless Breadsticks us. Happy Meals was us. McDonald's was us. Being happy us. Bikram yoga us. Eating food us. Breathing air us. Drinking water us. We invented all that shit.
The first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?